Hey guys, it's Jenny from Southern Savers. It's Monday night and our weekly Q&A. So this week I want to talk about increasing our savings. Now this is kind of one of those we could go all over the board, whether that's figuring out how to save more on specific areas that you are struggling with, or it's literally putting more money in savings. I hope that we can kind of cover it all. So I would love to start out with, if there is something, for those of you who jumped on and joined me right as I went live, if there are things that you're every month looking at your budget and thinking, this is a really hard spot, or this is an area that we've really never been able to touch or bring down, I would love for you to share that. I think everybody has those areas, and sometimes you just have to throw your hands up. Sometimes, yes. If you're on a really expensive medication and you've done everything possible, then you need those things. And obviously there's not much there, but there could be ways that we could save some money. So I do want you to share those with me in the comments. Just chime in and it's kind of like a confession moment. What are your struggles when it comes to saving money? Maybe even just what are the areas that you should do better, but you are, refusing to notice that they're just not working out. That's okay too. So we can all confess. So chime in on the comments and let me know, because it will help me make sure that as I go through tonight, I hit those areas that you are struggling with, that you would love to know how to save more on, because there may be something that you've not tried. So before we dive into hitting those tricky parts of your budget, I do want to start with the savings side. And I've always mentioned this, but I really feel like everyone needs to have a separate savings account that is not at your local bank. And that might sound kind of crazy. I'm not saying a secret savings account, but I just mean a savings account that's a little harder to touch. So the easiest way to do that is getting an online savings account with all the different online banks that are out there, but there are a number that offer incentives to get started. And so one of those that I did want to mention tonight, and I will stick the link in when we're done to this video, but that I wanted to share with everyone, is a deal that runs a lot on SoFi. And we have an online savings account with SoFi now. It is an easy one to get started with, so I thought we would start there. SoFi is offering $250 cash back through Rakuten right now when you start a new account. So to get started with this, I will just put in the link to this blog post where I try to explain how it works. There are two different SoFi accounts. Right now, we don't have an elevated cash back on the invest, but we do on the checking. So just to throw this out there, if you've not picked an online savings account, this one's pretty sweet. All you need to do is put $500 into the savings account. You are going to get $250 in cash back. So super easy deal. If you need an online savings account and you don't have one, I really feel like we all need one. But I would recommend going through that. So I'll stick that link in here in a minute. I'm not able to do it when I'm live unless my husband pops on and I don't know it. So maybe he will. We'll see. I sent him the link just in case. But as we go through, the reason that I recommend everyone have an online savings account is that to move money to them takes 2 to 3 days. But that also means to move money from them takes 2 to 3 days. So now when this money is in that savings account, you have a pause moment. You can't just run to the store. You can't just have this, I really want it moment. You have to take a little deep breath and you have to say, do I really want it enough to wait 2 to 3 days to get it? So it causes you to take a step back and really decide if that is what you want to spend your money on. The other plus side, and this is really the biggest part, guys, but I don't know. They're like equal, right? The biggest one ultimately, though, is that these online savings accounts offer way more interest than your local bank. So SoFi currently almost 4% interest, and it does fluctuate based on what the current interest rate is. But our local bank for our savings account, like 0.2%. So there is no point in keeping any money in our local savings account beyond what maybe you want to have for in case some bill hit before your paycheck, right? But anything extra, sticking it in that online savings account because it's going to earn more interest. So 2 big reasons to have one. You can keep your hands off of it a little bit better, and it's going to earn you some more money while it sits there, hopefully, and it can grow. So that's a big one. Oh, and Carrie, do I get points with SoFi? I do not get points with SoFi. You can get Rakuten points, and if you use my links, I do get a bonus when you sign up, but you also get a bonus. So if you've never used Rakuten and you decide to sign up for that SoFi deal, which I'll share the screenshot again, but if you decide to sign up for the deal, you get $250 cash back. But if you're new to Rakuten, you also get a $30 bonus for signing up. So it's win-win for everybody. But there's the points for you if you wanted to. And if you want to take this into travel point land, you actually can get Rakuten to pay you in points and not in money. That's a whole nother video though, right? We did that just a few nights ago, but we can go there. If you really want advanced points, Carrie, I can always go there. And what is Rakuten? So Lynn, I have that up actually. So Rakuten is a cashback site. I don't recommend browser extensions, so just close that guy out. But it's a cashback site that when you shop online, you're gonna get cash back for that purchase. Like right now, they're offering 5% at CVS. Sometimes we see them offer as high as 10% with CVS. And you can just search for whatever the deals are, and they do change, so I actually didn't check it. But there we go. So if I type in the word SoFi at the top, I can see that $250 online cash back for starting a new account. They run higher cashback on lots of different things. So for example, today's higher cashback are all of these brands. There's also some on travel right now that had me like, do we have any trips coming up that I need to book? Anything that we haven't taken advantage of. So you never know what you'll find in there, but if you're gonna hop online and you're gonna do some shopping, this is just money back in your pocket. When you have that money saved up, you get it out, or they mail you a check basically, or you can get it back in points, however you want to work that. So that is Rakuten. Okay, and that is, a side point, but it is a way to save a little bit more cash back in the end. Thanks, Carrie. I'd like to think that I'm the points queen. I'm trying to work towards that status for sure. I'm always stuck like with a calculator, which is the best way to do this deal. Okay, so we're going to start an online savings account. And the reason I wanted to start there before we went to anybody's struggle points with your budget is that if we don't have a way that we're tucking this money aside, then we're not really saving anything. And this is really kind of a soapbox moment for me, but I see in trendy videos that couponing is coming back, and I love it. I love it. It's actually encouraging me to try to do more videos too, to keep up with all of the TikTok and the things that we're seeing folks do. But there's a problem to this. And for 17 years, it's always been a soapbox for me. So let's just start there. As you start to discover ways to save money, there is a point where you need to realize that when you're still spending money to buy things you don't need, you are no longer saving money. So I encourage all of us to still make sure that we are setting our own budgets, even for our deals, right? It is truth that we may not want to hear, but just because it's on clearance doesn't mean that we need it. I have to say that to myself too, because my kids will see a clearance in the store and I'm immediately like, hold on, we don't need to leave yet. We need to look at this clearance section. But it's important for us and for us to teach our kids this too, that it's okay to walk away from that clearance section. If there's nothing there that we actually need, then don't buy it, right? When I am in CVS, even if I'm taking pictures to get on advertised deals for you guys, I have a drawer of toothpaste. And if I don't really need personal care, I'm not going to buy it. So that's where I would encourage you too, that we have a goal for our budget each week. Whatever that budget is for you, that's a different amount. And no one can tell you that, like this is how much your budget should be for your groceries or for your personal care. But whatever that amount is for you, when you've met it, you stop or you're not saving money. So little soapbox, but just to make sure across the board that we realize a deal is only a deal if we actually needed it. So that can be huge for some people to have that aha moment. But I see folks, I've seen it for years, folks that have shelves of 30 bottles of laundry detergent. Love it if you're going to share it with folks, but it still probably cost you something. So even if we're going to save up to donate to people, we still have to be within whatever budget we're setting for ourselves. Even for our donations. So maybe you say, okay, our family is going to live on about $100 a week on groceries and personal care. And if I have met what we need and I have a little bit of extra, great, I'm going to stock up on some things to be able to donate to people. But if I've gone over that 100, I've got to stop shopping. So that's our little therapy moment. And hopefully the person who needs to hear it will hear it. But it does apply to all of us. Because if we're buying a ton that's on sale, but we're really spending just as much as we were before we were couponing, then we aren't saving anything. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. Let's see. Oh, and Lily, you're right. You can't cross over. So I actually don't use Ibotta for cash back at all, Lily. I only tend to use Rakuten. The reason for that is that I don't actually do a ton of shopping on my phone. I know a lot of people do. I mean, I look at even the analytics that I see on our Facebook and other things, and I know that so many folks do things on their phones. For me personally, if there are things that I need to shop online for, I am so much happier on a really big screen. And so there you can use Ibotta for that, but I tend to find that Rakuten has higher cash back. So that's the route that I tend to go if I'm going to use cash back. I do recommend for cash back programs that you just pick one cash back program because they all have thresholds that you have to reach to be able to get a check or to get points every 2 to 3 months, however often they pay out. And this way you'll actually shop through that enough to earn enough for your cash back. So it just helps all the way around to just pick one and kind of stick with it. Okay. So as we dive in, we've kind of hit our soapbox, so we've got our focus on saving money. Let's jump through some of the big areas that I think a lot of us get caught up on. And the first one for most of us is this guy. So your cell phone bills, if you have not already, looking at your cell phone bill, it can be painful, but it is one that can be adjusted. So first big warning is the free phone offers that we see from the big guys, from Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. Years ago, they took away contracts. This is all they did to bring them back, guys. So you feel like you have no contract with Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T, but in reality you do when you choose one of their free phone offers. Because when I take that offer, I'm really signing up for potentially up to 36 months. That's 3 years of being with that service. Now, I can always buy out the rest of the phone price, but I didn't really get a deal at that point because now I'm paying literally the full price of the phone, up to $1,000, $1,200, whatever the phone cost. You're paying whatever's left, and they really do it in tiny little chunks. We're talking like $20 a month for 36 months. So leaving early on in that, really costly. You probably never would have gone out and bought that phone for $1,200 or whatever value they decided it was. You would have waited for a deal. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying I haven't done them, but if you aren't 100% happy already with your phone bill, signing up for those free phone deals, even if it's, hey, all I have to do is trade in my current phone. It feels so easy, but you are officially basically signing on for 3 more years with that service. So let's try to not do that. Let's stay free in a sense of being able to choose whatever service you want, even month by month. Because if I'm not having to pay down the price of a device, then I really could switch at any point. The plus side here is that we have a lot of pay as you go or little much cheaper options that are running on the same towers, guys. So you have Straight Talk, you've got Mint. Those are the two big ones that I would look at. If you can't decide, look at the prices between them. Mint even just came out with a teen account that I think is like $14 a month. So looking at the different prices, map them out for your usage, and you can always look in your account and see what your usage is. You can actually look in your phone and see what your usage is. So it's under general, and you'll see it down there under cell phone and cell phone usage. So you'll see how much data you've used. You'll even see like how many minutes you've talked on the phone, which I think most of us will find is almost next to nothing compared to what it used to be. I mean, how many of us can be, my husband and I, we dated long distance, and there would be moments in our relationship like, I'm out of minutes. Sorry, I'll talk to you at the beginning of the month. That is over now. All of these plans are unlimited when it comes to minutes because nobody uses them. Most of them are unlimited in terms of texting as well. So you're not looking at reducing your service. You're really just looking at reducing your cost. So that would be the first place that I would encourage you to go. Mint or Straight Talk being two of like the number ones that everybody recommends. You have Boost Mobile as well. There's so many that are out there that are way, way cheaper than the Verizons and the T-Mobiles. Another warning there on the Verizon side, they just came out with the ability to lock in your rate for 3 years. That's great and all, but it's still not as good as these other services. So I know that there are some of you out there that use them, and I would love for you to chime in, even in the comments. If you've got one that is a prepaid or a much cheaper plan, let us know. I'd love to know even down to how much it saved you, what your monthly budget is on those plans. It feels like a hassle to do, but it's going to be worth it in the end, I promise, to switch to one of those. Another one in the bills side for everyone, the phones are the biggest, but I would hope at this point that we're not paying for cable. But if you are, welcome to 2025. It is time to give up on your local cable bill. Everything that you want to watch is available online and available online without a contract. So if you've got a spouse who is just diehard, I need live sports, then let's compromise here. Do they need live sports for every sport all year long? Or is there one particular sport that they love? Are they an NFL fan or a Major League Baseball fan? Let's look at getting those live sports for the sport that they want and figuring out a deal if that's what we need to do versus paying for that cable all year long. So I've shared many times, this is what we do. We use YouTube TV for our live sports. And yes, it is just as much me as it is my husband. We are both big college football fans. Even if my team just stunk last year, I still enjoy watching other people's teams. So here's to a better year for the Seminoles. But YouTube TV, we pay by the month, and we turn it off when college football is over. We did wait until the playoffs were over, even though both of our teams didn't do very well last year. But college football season only, and then it's off from basically mid-January until mid-August. We're not paying for any YouTube TV. There's a plus side to YouTube TV as well. Technically, you can share it with up to 3 family members. It's going to give you up to 6 screens, but you can kind of play with that however you'd like. So, just going to throw that out there in terms of the cost of YouTube TV, that it is very affordable when we are splitting it 3 ways. So that is one that has saved us a lot of money through the years, still giving us the sports that we want without having to pay full price or having a year contract with your local cable. If sports are not an issue, then so many streaming opportunities right now and a ton that are free, guys. There's, maybe you take a month where you say, you know what, let's just try this month. Let's turn off the Netflix. Let's turn off everything else. And let's just see, are we happy with just free things? Now, I know that there are a number of platforms that you might have paid for a whole year. You might have a year subscription to Disney Plus or some of the other services. Honestly, if there's no cost incentive to pay by the year, do not do that. The only reason that you should pay by the year for anything is if they're giving you a cost incentive to do that. If you know this is a platform I absolutely love and it is cheaper to be a part of this by paying in this big lump sum, do it. But most of them, there's no cost incentive to pay either monthly or yearly. So pay monthly and turn it off. Take a break, switch to a different platform. It actually is, you're going to love it because you're going to get other things to watch. You could rotate through. You could use some free trials to rotate through. But even taking a month where you said, you know what, we're going to try to stream nothing that costs. We're just going to look at free services. Pluto alone, we love Pluto. Pluto alone is going to keep you so overwhelmed with how much to watch. You might not miss it. You'll be surprised. So just research some of the free things that are out there. That might be an easy way to save too. So just an easy one to chime in. And I love it. Lots of you are sharing where you have switched your phones to. So I'm going to throw out some of these. So Amy says that they like Google Fi. I love it. I don't know that that's even available in our area. I wish that Google Internet was, but I know it's not here. Visible, that was the other one. Another Amy shared. I could not remember what that other one was, but I like on the tip of my tongue. So thank you. Visible as well. And Carrie is saying $100 a month for unlimited everything for 2 lines. So Carrie, and we're with you. I am speaking to myself here on the cell phone ones because we are with Verizon and we are about $50 a line as well with 6 lines. We've got grandma thrown in, college kids who need to get a job. It all adds up. And so for me, I'm like, do I really want to move all these people? But I'm going to tell you these other plans, Carrie, you and I both, we got to talk on this. Cause like Anita right below you in the chat, is saying 4 lines with Straight Talk, 110. So I know it. I know those prices and I'm with you. We're going to work on it. It's on my list for this year to just be like, heads up guys, we're all changing our plans. Net 10, Trish is saying, lowest price plan. She's on $20 a month. And wow, you've used them since 2006. They should give you some kind of really cool incentive for that. I mean, that's crazy impressive to be with the same company for almost 20 years. So at this point, you better stick out and just finish off your 20th year, Trish, because that is really cool. And I love it, Wendy. You finally cut the cord just this month and did YouTube TV. So that's awesome. I'm proud of you guys. I know it's a big change too, but YouTube TV really does have everything your local channels had probably. And yes, I agree. So Carrie, as we talk about some of those streaming services, if you've got a whole year because you got a crazy deal, like Peacock ran a whole year for $20, or you signed up on that Black Friday Hulu deal where you get a whole year for 99 cents, that's not a big deal. We're not talking anything massive there. But if we are talking, Sling TV, or you're paying monthly for Netflix or Disney, that's $19.99, depending on what plans you have. That's where okay, let's take a step back. We do not need to pay that every single month. We can take a month off and find other things to watch and come back if we miss it. But definitely if you've gotten a deal, your year is not that painful. 100% go for it. And Trish is also saying you have an HD antenna hooked up to all your TVs. I love it. And a Roku Express. That's huge. I actually was just explaining to my children today as we studied electromagnetic waves, what over the air meant and how, we would say, I watched that over the air. This was not something that my kids really understood. And the fact that streaming is not this. So many things that our kids don't understand. Okay, and then Lily, I'm going to use yours to feed right into my next tip. So Lily's saying she negotiated a deal with Spectrum for bundles on internet and cable, and you use the Spectrum app on your smart TV. You can't opt out, but it isn't too bad of a price. So I'm still proud of you on that one. So my next segue would be actually negotiating your bills. So if you're stuck like that for Lily, if it's coming down to, well, I need internet, and they're offering me a deal with internet and cable, and it's better than I could get anywhere else, great. Renegotiating our bills is something that we actually should do once a year. We should make those phone calls. We should try to do our best to bring them down. And if you feel like, I know this used to be one that I would get a lot when we talked about bills. A lot of folks would be like, you know what, I only have one cable provider. Then I want to step back there and say, no, you don't anymore. So there are so many providers in your area that you might not even be thinking about. And one of those would be your T-Mobile and your Verizon, and you do not have to have phones with them. So I'm streaming. I'm like, I should go get a sponsorship here, but this stream is brought to you by T-Mobile Home Internet. So these home internet plans start at $35 a month. You can stream on them. You can go live on them. So they are perfectly good, and there's no line running to my house. Believe me, they wouldn't come down my almost mile-long driveway. So these plans do exist, and even if you're in a neighborhood, there are potentially options to you that are not just the lines running down the street. So not saying that to Lily. I love that you negotiated a plan and you have a bundle. That's awesome. But for the rest of us, don't feel like you're stuck. Even if you live in a tiny little town, don't feel like you're stuck with the one option. There's a lot now. So T-Mobile and Verizon coming into that market, if anything, should give you something to negotiate with your local company about. So call the local company and tell them, hey, I've got this option for $35 a month with T-Mobile or Verizon, and see what they'll do. If that doesn't equal the internet that you're already paying, if you're paying more, then definitely see if you could switch or get them to lower that price. Anytime we have a lower price is usually the way to play that game and see what your local service will help you do and how you can bring down that price. Okay, try to catch up. And Mary Faith, thank you. Verizon also has a pay-as-you-go, $35 each, and you prepay on a credit card. So that could be an option too for folks that are already with Verizon and you want to switch off of the unlimited side and go to a prepaid plan. Okay, trying to catch up here. I love it. Thank you guys for all your tips. So lots of things. And Anita, thank you for chiming in on that too. So we also have Paramount because it's free with our Walmart Plus. So yes, taking advantage of your streaming services that are already part of things that you might already be paying for, not forgetting that those are there, and that Hulu, Disney that we all got for Black Friday. So lots of pretty sweet options for streaming without having to pay a ton of extra money for other platforms. Okay. That was a ton of tips. Thank you guys for chiming in on all of them. We talked when we kind of hit budgets a little bit, we talked a tiny bit on just your utility bills across the board. But I will say for your energy bills, there are some things you can do. If you do not have programmable thermostats, that is where you first need to start. So this is where you can actually set your thermostat to have a schedule. If you're not home during the day, not cooling the house as cool as you might like it at night, simple things like that. If you can, now that most of these are available online, even having the ability to realize, whoa, we're on vacation and we forgot to turn down the thermostat when we left. That's or turn up, whatever it might be, turn off, depending on what time of the year. Making sure that you have that ability. Whether you go Google Nest or you go cheaper with not big name brands, there are a lot of digital programmable thermostats that are going to give you that option to adjust them literally from your phone wherever you might be. So that is a huge way that can adjust your heating and cooling costs, as well as like curtains. Curtains are super big if you've got a ton of windows and you've got a sunny side of the house. Now, if I have a side of the house that doesn't get a ton of sun, or you have a porch over it, you don't want curtains, don't put them in. but they are a big help. They're also a big help in the winter. So you're going to feel that cold air coming in through a window, but putting a curtain over it is immediately insulating the window, even in a small way. I remember a house that we rented when we were first married, putting in 2 sets of curtains because air was just pouring in through those windows. So you could do that too. Whatever you need to do in the winter. Doesn't mean you have to open them, but they're there to just block out more of the cold air coming in or keep the hot air in the winter. So those are simple things for your electricity bill. As we've all switched to LED lights, they don't even make the old kind of light bulbs anymore. That's another one that does save money, being on the LEDs over the incandescents. But having your lights on timers as well. A long time ago, I shared my pantry video, and a lot of folks loved the light that we have in our pantry because no one would ever turn off the light. We have it's almost like what you see in bathrooms, but a light that when you walk in the door senses that you've walked in the pantry and turns the pantry light on. And then after no one has been in there for 30 seconds, it turns the pantry light off. Having a handy husband, it probably took him less than 5 minutes to install that, but that has been pretty magical. And I actually can't tell you how many times I've walked into other closets in the house and I've been a little surprised that the light didn't turn on. So I think we need to apply this handy little device to every random closet in our house. Still, years later, I'm like, why didn't the light turn on? Because it's only in the pantry. But it is an easy way. If you've got one of those lights that no one ever remembers to turn off, it's done. It's going to handle it for you. So simple things like that. They don't cost a ton of money, and you got to, feel like you did something, felt like you were a handy person for a moment and install something that could save you some money too. Okay. So lots of little things there. One last thing on electricity is actually calling your electrical company and seeing if they offer energy audits. I know that Duke Energy does. Other energy companies across the South probably do something similar, and they're free. Most of these through your energy company they'll come out, they'll tell you, where they see that you're losing electricity, where even kind of measure with like a little thermo gun kind of thing where they see temperature variations. Hey, here's some insulators for your electrical outlets, all sorts of things. And they'll even give you some freebies while they're there. It's pretty awesome. So taking advantage of that if you've not ever had one of those, seeing if they're available in your area first, but it doesn't hurt to do some Googling on that for sure. Yes, Carrie, maybe I should just get him to do a how to install your own pantry light video. We'll just make him his own little DIY channel. But it was super handy on his side. So let's talk cars for a bit. Let's jump off of bills and, we would love to just not have any bills. They're going to be there. We can't make them go away, but we have hit a number of the big ones that are definitely adjustable. So cars is the next one. And when you're looking at your budget, if you have a large car payment, that's really the first area that you need to ask yourself, why do I have a large car payment? What was it that made you decide to go and A, go into debt to buy a car, and B, buy the car that you bought? So if you are in a area where you're looking for a car, used is always better, even slightly used. Even if very used scares you, slightly used is always better than new. Cars lose so much of their value in the first moment that you drove them off the lot, but definitely the first year. So finding a car that's even just a couple years old, going to be a better value than buying a brand new car. The other thing that's going to save you money there, in case that doesn't win you over on just the initial price, there are 2 other big things that having a used car saves you money on, and people don't think about it. It's the insurance, and it is the taxes. So when you're looking at getting a used car, you should actually ask, or a car in general, before you get a car, you should ask your insurance agent, what would it cost to insure this car? Give them the year, make, model of what you're considering buying and get them to give you a quote on it. They can tell you. If you're looking at getting a Kia, you should definitely quote that. There are some insurance agencies that won't even cover some of the Kia models right now because they're so easy to hijack and steal. So it's a simple phone call that would save you some heartache in the end, because you went out and bought a Kia Soul only to realize they won't insure it. That's State Farm in our area, by the way. But anytime I'm looking at buying a car, that should be before any money is paid, making that phone call and finding out what that bill is going to be. That is an ongoing bill. So if I can adjust now by buying a different brand or another year older car, I'm saving myself money for a very long time on those monthly insurance payments. So do not just think of insurance as, oh, we'll deal with it, we'll figure out what it is. That should be a phone call first. What is it going to cost to insure this make, model, year? Give them 3 or 4. Make them quote it. Make them earn it. You're paying them enough. Make them earn it. So your insurance and your taxes, we definitely are going to pay more on a newer car because you're taxed on the value of the car, on whatever the assessor says the value of the car is. So the older the car, the cheaper the property taxes on that car are going to be. So 2 big reasons to look at a used car over a new car, even a slightly used car, still cheaper to insure and pay taxes on. So hopefully that helps, guys. And there we go. My husband, for folks on Facebook, just stuck the link into the light that we use in our pantry. So if you're wanting to do any DIY, you're set on that. Okay, just trying to catch up. Oh, Lily, I love it. So to step back into electricity mode, Lily says, I opt to use my air fryer over my oven to have better energy efficiency. That is a wonderful idea, Lily. Our oven is actually the largest thing that pulls electricity for our house, and I hate to see this spike. If you've not ever looked at that, that's another random little device. My husband could just sit here and put in all the random links. So I'm married to an engineer, guys, but it's a random little device that you can hook up to your electrical panel. So this takes a little tiny bit of know-how, though it's super tiny. And it will tell you how much energy you're using at any particular point. And there are moments that you'll be like, oh, okay, let's not do that anymore. So in the summer, let's grill outside on the back porch. Let's definitely not use the oven. Not only does it take a ton of electricity, but it also increases the temperature of the house. But I love the air fryer over the oven. We have a counter oven that is much smaller than our very big oven. So if I'm just doing something tiny, I will do that countertop. It's a tiny bit bigger than a toaster oven, but it's way faster to heat up, and in the end, I'm not heating as much space. So it's definitely more energy efficient. So thank you for chiming in on that. I hands down would recommend an engineer to anyone. I agree, Carrie. And Patricia says, Amazon has cheap rechargeable lights that work well with sensors too. They're magnetic and great for kitchen at night. So thanks for that tip as well, Patricia. Okay, so let's jump back. We went back into our electricity. We could probably stay there for a while. One other thing I wanted to hit on was gas. Well, we're in car mode. So you've got your taxes and your insurance. Hopefully you don't have a car payment, but if you do, we're at least keeping it small. I was reading about someone recently that went to try to get a mortgage, thinking they would be great to get a mortgage, but they already had 2 car loans. So you got to realize all this debt starts to add up, and they were not approved for a mortgage because of the car loans that they were carrying. So it's a really big decision when we decide to go out and buy a car that we don't have the cash for, and that we're going to get a loan for. What's our plan, and how much can we afford to really take on in that debt? So let's talk other car expenses though. So gas is a big one. And hands down, if you're not using Gas Buddy or some of the other gas apps that are out there, you should be. And for us, this is anytime I'm shotgun in the car, this is your job is to find gas. So you're not going to give the navigator, a 1 minute heads up on this, but it's we are down to like 50 miles on the gas tank. Can you find me some gas? Because I want to be able to go in a wide range. If we're on a road trip, I want to be able to know that we can make it a little bit further to get that price. But with Gas Buddy, you're going to be able to zoom around and you're going to be able to play with all the gas stations in town. The other thing is taking advantage of any memberships you have there too. So just like we mentioned Walmart Plus for Paramount, Walmart Plus is huge for gas, guys. And this is where we do order some things from Walmart now because they come super fast. But Walmart and our gas savings alone, I know that we have saved back the cost of Walmart Plus. So you're going to get 10 cents off a gallon, every gallon, at Murphy USA stations, as well as some Exxon and some other stations. Those are just the ones that we regularly stop at. In our area, Murphy USA already has the lowest prices over other stores. And then I'm getting another 10 cents off of that price at the pump. So if you've got Walmart Plus, that should be like, I'm immediately looking for a Murphy USA station so that I can use that perk. Amazon has decided to throw that in as a perk as well. So Amazon, if you've got it linked, you do have to take the moment to link it, but you will get a savings off of every gallon at BP and Amoco stations. You've got your Shell Fuel Rewards. So every station has a rewards program. If you've got a station nearby that you're like, you know what, this is just what I use, it's on my way to work, I am not going out of the way, then you need to make sure that you are still part of that station's rewards program, whatever it is. Circle K, Speedway, they all have one, except there is an except. QT does not have a rewards program that I know of. But if one of you does, that would be mind-blowing to my family because my kids love QT. Not only their food, if you've never eaten there, we are weird QTers now. My girls and my husband's like, I don't really get you guys and your love for QT. But they have like sandwiches that are huge for $4. So I'm there. I might not do fast food. If we're out and about, be like, hey, anyone want QT? Yes, we will eat at the gas station. I know, we're strange. Just go ahead and admit it. But they don't have a rewards program for their fuel. So instead, for those stores or for others, we could stack with it. This is where we want to take getting gas station gift cards and maxing out grocery savings or points, since Carrie knows my weakness here. So if Publix, my Publix shoppers, if they're going to run our $10 Publix gift card when you buy $50 worth of groceries, or sorry, not $10, $10 off of a grocery gift card when you buy $50 worth of groceries, you need to be grabbing whatever that gas station is that you love to use. They sell a lot of different gas stations. Now, they don't sell Murphy USA, to my knowledge, or not in my area. So I can't stack this with my Walmart Plus, but I could grab Shell or grab BP and stack those with those rewards programs. I can grab QT, which is what I usually do. But that is a huge way to save as well. Gas station, if you're not a Publix shopper, this would be where I would also look at Kroger. So Kroger on Fridays, sometimes the whole weekend, but almost every Friday, Kroger offers 4 times the fuel points back on gift cards. So you could head into Kroger and get some other gift cards. I don't know how many gas stations Kroger sells, since a lot of stores do have Kroger gas stations. But if they offer gas station gift cards, you would get those as well. So just things to consider to increase your fuel savings, the rewards programs and discounted gas cards, and merging those when we can is a big one. And Patricia says QT does have one that links to your debit card. And I'm out. You just lost me there. So we don't use our debit card anywhere, and we would want the points back on our credit card. So I guess they're just trying to get people to save them on the credit card processing fees. I'll use my QT gift cards, which I will purchase at the grocery store and still earn points on. So we can still work this out. Oh, and Lily, yes, I could. That will make our budget cry as well. Lily says there's a new Buc-ee's being built on her route to the beach, and you can feel your wallet crying now. There is one on the way to see our girls that are up in college, and it's pretty much an understood that we will stop there. I think if I was driving and I didn't, my husband was asleep and I missed the Buc-ee's, I think he'd make me turn around and go back. So it's going to be big when it opens and you get to enjoy it. Pretty fun. And thank you, Anna. So Food City gas up on Wednesdays for a double discount. So all of the Food City folks, that's good to know. And Anita says, you're in North Carolina. We don't have Kroger. Yeah, there are no more Bi-Lo's anymore, so you're not missing out there, but you have a Food Lion. So with Food Lion, I could still get some gas station gift cards at the grocery store. Maybe a way that you would work this if you wanted to, just to throw this one out there. I don't know what credit cards you have, Anita, as Carrie makes fun of me for being a points queen. One of our credit cards offers 4 times the points on grocery store purchases. Well, buy some gift cards in the grocery store. I'm going to earn 4 times the points on those gift cards. I would not earn 4 times the points on the gas in the gas station. So if that's all I've got, I don't have any other incentives. It's still a savings when it comes to saving up on points. Finding out what your credit cards are currently offering, and if we have an increase on grocery purchases, it's a great way to use that point incentive to get some gift cards for other places that I wouldn't have been able to get extra points on. My husband hands down agrees with you, Stacy. Is it really a trip if you didn't get to stop at Buc-ee's? Now for us, there's only one Buc-ee's that we ever pass, and it's if we go visit our girls in Chattanooga. So we don't go that often, so it still feels special. But maybe we'll get some more here in the Southeast. Okay. Lots of things there. Let's see. I want to make sure I hit other ways. And we do have a post here, guys. I will share or see if I can get my husband to share in the comments of 10 ways to save on gas. It's I posted it earlier this year. So there you go. I think I updated this year. So 10 ways to save on gas goes through a lot of things too. So we've hit a few as we went through, but you can maybe step it up a little higher there with some other tips. So 2 other things that I wanted to hit on that are big areas for a lot of people's budgets, and it's kind of grocery side here, but they're groceries that we don't often see on sale. So I get a lot of folks that ask me, Jenny, what are ways that we can save on meat and produce? So first off, produce. Honestly, the biggest thing I can tell you is that I would recommend that you actually not purchase your produce in the grocery store unless we can find clearance produce. So most of our produce comes from a Lowe's Foods that ends up clearancing out so much of their produce section. Thank you, people in that little tiny town, for not shopping there. I will buy all the clearance produce. But if you don't have that ability, then we're going to buy just the loss leaders on produce. We're going to buy the biggest markdowns that week in the grocery store. So my Kroger folks, you guys know what those are. Kroger is going to run those 99-cent berries, or they're going to put a Kroger digital offer on top of specific fruits, specific vegetables. Great. Those are the things to grab in the grocery store this week. Beyond the things that have a digital offer, though, or a significant markdown, I would really recommend that you instead head to a local farmer's market for your produce. Most of us have a local farmer's market nearby, so you can do some Googling. There is a website, and I didn't check to see if it's still updated. Let's see, I'll try to pull it up now. It's been a while since I've looked at it because I know where all my farmer's markets are. But localharvest.org has always been around. Yep, still running. So head to localharvest.org. It's a great one for plugging in your zip code and seeing what is available near you. So this is not only going to tell you farmers markets, but it's also going to tell you farms. So a lot of what you see here are actually specific farms. You can even look at it by map and by color code. The reason to know farms is that so many of your local farms offer a CSA program. That's what these buttons are. So I'm trying to teach you more about it. So CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. This is where I basically buy what they're going to call a share in that farm for that season. And I'm going to get a box every week, every other week. Different farms run it different ways, but I get a box of everything that's fresh this week. And you get to even pick the size of that box. I had a friend recently share too that there are some running, there's even one running in our area that I'm interested in finding out, that is running really through kind of the food bank side of things, but is available to everyone, mostly focusing on SNAP benefit folks, but is available for anyone that's not on SNAP too. This is a huge way to bring down your grocery budget if we're able to save on the two most expensive parts. Things I don't have coupons for and that are rarely going to be BOGO or have a big sale behind them. So we're going to focus on those loss leaders, use whatever might have that digital weekly offer in Kroger or Food Lion. Publix doesn't really do those. We'll see some BOGOs in Publix and produce, but that's about it. And then we're going to head to a farmer's market. We're going to get a CSA box during the summer. Those aren't always running during the winter, but it is definitely something this time of the year to jump on. This is the perfect time of the year to start Googling for these things, seeing what's available in your area to get some fresh produce at a significant discount over the grocery store prices for them. It's also very easy to start your own co-op. And so Carrie, in our area, we were part of a co-op for years, and the person who ran it actually passed away. And once she passed away, the co-op just fizzled. It was a very hard moment. Just standing around talking with people about it this weekend, like, we need to bring this back. It's not that hard. It's just a dedication, right? A regular dedication to get together. But having folks that get together and pool money and head to a farmer's market is already saving you money because we're buying produce in bulk and then we're splitting it up. So we don't have to buy everything we need, but we could pool our money and we could buy things that are in season right now, and then we can put them up in the freezer. So, hey, let's go in together and let's buy a case of corn on the cob once corn on the cob's in season, not yet. We then split that up amongst 3 or 4 families. You can blanch it, you can freeze it. You've got corn on the cob for the rest of the season without having to grow it in your garden. Now, grow it in your garden, hands down, it's cheaper. We cannot grow corn. I don't really know what our problem are. We can't grow corn and we can't grow carrots. Our corn is never bigger than this and our carrots are never bigger than this. So those are 2 veggies we don't even put in our garden. I think this year my husband is just really trying to win me over, and our garden is like 9/10 okra. So if you want to come over and visit, I'm going to serve you okra for like the next 6 months. That's going to make me so happy though, because fried okra it's my happy food, and he is obviously trying to give me an entire freezer of about it. So I'm there when it's all grown. Right now my okra plants are about this big though. Oh, and Anita, CSA boxes are at the farmer's market. So it just depends on your farmers. Are you asking, are they at the farmer's market? There could be some farmer's markets that are offering them. Most of the time, the CSA boxes, you're going to go directly to the farm on this. And what I would do, start here at localharvest.org or Google the name of your city and CSA farm or CSA box. And you will find a number of options, hopefully, that are in your area where you are getting set up with them. And a lot of them in our area, they've got drops all over the city. So you pick where you want your pickup point to be, and you are given a kind of a weekly time or an every other week time that they will be in that spot dropping off boxes. You have to be able to be in that spot as well, but that little time crunch for you, maybe it'll work around lunchtime or something in your day, is totally worth it in terms of the price that you're going to get for that box. So let's switch to meat. That's a big one for produce for sure. Anytime we can go local and stay in season is huge. Meat is another one. And for meat, I would recommend looking first at bulk. So Costco and Sam's will sell you bulk sizes if you already have a membership, seeing what they're running. I was just talking to somebody this weekend who was raving about Sam's and their roasts and the price of their roasts and buying things in bulk there. So if you've got the membership and you already enjoy it, go for it. It will equal the sale price that we see at the grocery store. So just to clarify there, the bulk sale price on meat in Costco and Sam's does not pay for the membership to Costco and Sam's. It is a way to use the membership once you have it, but it is a price that I could get in the grocery store on sale. What will save you money though is buying in bulk direct from a farm or a local butcher, asking them, hey, do you know any local farms that are offering a quarter of a cow? You could go big. A half a cow is going to almost take its own freezer though. So you need to think about how much space you have before you go really big. But a number of local farms, local cow farms will do smaller sized bulk purchases when they are kind of at that time of the year, whenever they are sending cows to market. So you just need to contact the farms. You need to find out when that time of the year is. It's usually not now, kind of more middle summer. We want the cows to get a little fatter after winter. But that is a significant savings. And most of those no longer make you find the other people. So years ago we did this, but you actually had to come in, and if you wanted the cow, you had to be able to get the whole cow. So you needed to have kind of your group already set. They still do all the processing, and you just pick up already packaged meat in a cardboard box. We're good to go. We don't have to name the cow. We don't have to know the cow. Well, we got a really great price by doing it this way. Most of them are not going to make you have to already have your group together. So they're going to get different size orders from people, and they're going to make it work based on what they have on hand. So it's a very easy way to do that. Another simple way to do this, though, is just heading to the US Foods Chef store. So if you have a US Foods Chef store in your area or something similar, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago too, but a US Foods Chef store, they're open to anybody. Anybody can go in. Anybody can shop there. You do not have to have a membership to shop there. So when you head in, you will find bulk everything. I would really recommend that you head in and just shop meat, maybe some produce as well, but meat in particular. They have some crazy prices on meat. You can buy it by the big chub or by the case. So for example, this is just the going price in my store right now. They have it online. So this is 10 pounds of ground beef, 73% lean, $35 for a 10-pound chub. So that's $3.52 a pound. Now, we could go big and get the case. That would be 60 pounds of ground beef, and it is cheaper per pound. Maybe if you went in with 6 other people or you split it in half with somebody, 60 pounds of ground beef is a lot of ground beef. We usually buy this 10 pounds at a time, maybe getting 2 of them at 20 pounds, and that will last us for quite a while. But $3.52 a pound. You'll find they also sell 80 and 90% lean as well, and the price isn't that much different. This is still significantly cheaper than most of our grocery stores. So the Chef store sells bulk ground beef, chicken breasts, any cut of meat really you're gonna find in bulk at a price that the grocery store rarely touches. So it is one to definitely consider if you have it in your area. And Wendy, thank you for chiming in on that, because the other one for me is really to look for markdowns. Now, my Publix shoppers, this is not Publix. You're not ever gonna walk into Publix and find clearance meat or clearance produce. Years ago, they got litigated for donating food. It was donated. And after that, Publix said, nope, we're not even going to give it away. We're not going to mark it down. So any of those items, they're literally thrown away. The meat, however, is not thrown away. The ground beef in particular. Other meats, we don't get to know what happens to them. But their meats, their beef items, they do regrind, and you will find that in front of the butcher's section. It's called market ground beef. And that is beef items that were about to get taken away, get reground, turned into market ground beef, and it is cheaper than even ground chuck. So you can find some deals in that market ground beef section of Publix right in front of the butcher's window if they've got any in. And then look for some that's, darker red, doesn't have as much white in it. That's going to be potentially like a great roast or great steaks. You don't know, but it's a good price. So that's the only thing you can really look for in Publix. Our other stores, though, Kroger, Ingles, Lowe's Foods, great markdowns. Food Lion, learning when your store does markdowns. The easiest thing there is just to ask somebody in the butcher department, how often do you do markdowns? Is there more on a particular day than other days? Normally they'll be like, oh, we do some every day. No, just ask. Is there more on some days than other days? And a lot of times you're going to find that is really a Monday, Tuesday thing in many stores, especially stores that start their ad on Wednesdays. They're going to start their ad with lots of stock of sale items, but then come Monday, Tuesday, any of that didn't sell is really reaching its 5-day window of being in the butcher cabinets and it's time to mark those down. So you're potentially going to get this week's items, but at a pretty great price, or you're going to get last week's. It just depends on what that shelf life is for those items. But in a lot of stores, Monday, Tuesday are their magical days for those markdowns. And Carrie, what is a good price for ground beef? So for me, I'm happy at around $3.50 a pound. We will potentially see lower if you can find some on clearance. Lowe's Foods as well has run, this is the one that I get a little excited about when they run their Wagyu and, I don't even remember the other kind, but they're the 1 pound square chubs. Lowe's Foods will run those, buy 2 and get 3 free. And that will bring those are like 90% lean ground beefs. That will bring those down into the $3.50 range as well. So like, woo, stock up. But I will grab that 73 or that 80% lean at $3.50 or potentially lower if you could find it any day of the week. That would be my price point. Oh, and Stacy, yes, if you have a bread store near you, that should be your go-to for bread items. The nearest one to me is about 40 minutes across town. So my go-to is just going to be whatever bread is buy one, get one this week in Publix. But if you've got a day-old bread store, that's pretty fun. If you've got even a local bread bakery that's going to sell it to you, we have an Adela flour downtown that will let you come and get flour in bulk. Anytime that you're able to go directly to the manufacturer, usually you'll get a pretty good price. Folks that live in North Georgia with Tyson meat plants around the area, there's a number of them scattered across the North Georgia area. You can go in and directly purchase your chicken breasts and things like that from the Tyson plants and get a really great price. So anytime you've got some sort of food processor right there, you should see, do they have a way that they sell direct to consumer? Most of them do. They've cut out the middleman, and you're getting that price. You're saving quite a bit. So whether your Nature Zone is a day old or just the direct bakery, it's still a great way to shop and get bread. Love it. Thank you for sharing that one. I would not have remembered that one. Okay, so lots of things there. Buying in bulk, going direct to farm, going to the butcher, going to the chef store. You can use your Costco and your Sam's. We do see sales in the grocery store. They're just not always going to equal even that savings of the bulk. For the last few weeks, I've started giving you guys an Aldi versus Publix comparison every week of the Publix sales with the Aldi regular prices. And you'll notice Publix wins on 90% of the items. That Publix sale price wins. But 9 times out of 10, Aldi is winning when it comes to meat. Unless it's a buy one, get one meat at Publix, Aldi's regular price on meat is going to win. And that's just part of it. Aldi knows that meat is part of what's going to get you in the store. Usually dairy and eggs are also going to get you in the store. Might not work right now for eggs, but those would be your key things that could be a way to save too. If I really needed something, I'm out of it completely, it's not on sale in Publix, it's not on sale in Kroger, maybe then I'm going to head to Aldi and see what I can grab on the ground beef or the chicken there too. Okay, and yes, I agree, Catherine. Publix BOGO would be our go-to. If there's just not one, that's when the Aldi would come in. So we're going to keep that Aldi Publix comparison, though, for a while until folks get tired of it. But I think it's very helpful to see, hopefully to prove to people that if we are shopping the sales, we are saving money. I had some folks comment on it like, yes, but Aldi wins if I don't want to follow sales. But I want you to follow sales. You are going to save so much money to do that. So for those of us who can, we can get it stocked away in the freezer. That's a big one. And on that note, having an extra freezer is a big one. Having that extra freezer space for both produce and meat. Being able to put up the produce that is in season that you got on sale, maybe even got in bulk on sale, huge way to save throughout the winter. When you know, for me, I have a freezer of okra this winter, or whatever you grab at the farmer's market. When those things are no longer in season, their price is sometimes triple what their in-season price is. So anything that you can tuck away in a freezer, vacuum seal it, and have it stored is a huge way to save long term. For freezer deals, that's the next thing folks always ask whenever I bring that up. I hold out. That's like a Memorial Day kind of purchase. If you don't have that extra freezer space, it's an appliance, and we see the best deals on appliances over 3-day weekends. So that's not really Easter. It's really Memorial Day. I maybe we'll spring something in there between now and then, but odds are the best deal that we'll see will be that Memorial Day sale. We see freezer deals all over the place. Even Sam's sells chest freezers, so be willing to look across a number of stores to see what your options are, even Best Buy. So Home Depot, Lowe's, Best Buy, Sam's, those would be the 4 that I would check first to see who had the best price once that rolls around, once we get to that 3-day weekend. Okay, and yes, and then having a vacuum sealer. So thank you, Catherine. So if we're gonna put anything in the freezer for longer than 6 weeks, it really must be vacuum sealed. A Ziploc bag is only going to be good for about 6 weeks. It's just not going to get enough air out. So you do want to invest in a vacuum sealer. If you're taking the time to invest in a chest freezer or a stand-up freezer, you should take the time to invest in a vacuum sealer. And we do see deals on those directly from Food Saver or on Kohl's and Macy's and some other sites as well. So that's an easy one and nowhere near the price of the freezer, but definitely one that you should do. Oh, do we have a freezer light gadget? Oh, you're to take it up. Our freezers have a light that turns on. So are you wanting an extra light for your chest freezer? That would be where I might point you to Patricia's. We have some of these even in our camper, but they're like little Velcro on lights with a switch. So you've like added a light to a wall and you could maybe just stick that in the freezer. I don't know how well the battery would love being super cold. Batteries don't actually freeze well. That would be something for him. I'll if he's not still on with us, Carrie, I'll ask him. But the electrical side of a very cold battery does not always work. Oh, and thank you, Brenda, for chiming in on that. So you're in the Georgia area. Chicken breasts are $75 for 40 pounds. That's a crazy price. That's less than $2 a pound. So you should definitely be grabbing that. And that's about what they are in our chef store as well. So if you've got a chef store or you're directly purchasing from the chicken plants, it's a huge savings. And we will put up 40 pounds of chicken. That will last us about 3 months. We eat a fair bit of chicken. It is one of the cheapest meats that's out there. So if 40 pounds of chicken scares you, right now we are feeding 5 people at a time since 2 people don't live here anymore. But that 40 pounds, still about 3 months worth of dinners for us. Oh, there you go, Carrie. He chimed in and just says I'd wear a headlamp. So no magical freezer gadget for you. Okay, well, that is a whole bunch that we've covered tonight. Hopefully we hit something in your budget that could just use a little bit of help bringing down the expenses. So next week, we're going to hit thrift store tips. And this is one that I'm hoping some of you guys will chime in too, because I know that I am not the only person who loves a thrift store. Pretty much anytime we go on date night, it ends at Goodwill. So doesn't mean we always buy something, but it's like our even just go and window shop kind of place. So we're going to talk thrift store, even bin store next week and tips for finding deals there or avoiding things that aren't deals. So join in next Monday night at 8:30 for that, as well as any other questions you have. I'm always happy for off-topic questions as well. I will be back on tomorrow for drugstore deals at 3 o'clock. So Tuesdays at 3 for CVS and Walgreens deals that are running. It's been a pretty good week in both stores. So hopefully you can catch me for that one or watch that one after the fact so that you don't miss any of the deals. And Brenda, if you see this, Stacy just commented asking whereabouts in Georgia you are and where you're getting your chicken for that price. But Stacy, I will say there are a lot of chicken plants in Georgia. So maybe even just Googling where you are and a chicken plant. It's just a very Georgia thing for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I hope you guys have a great night. I will be back on tomorrow with those drugstore deals. And if not, I will see you next week to talk thrifting. So y'all have a great week.